Hey guys, this is Cliff again with another unit in our Combat Bootcamp series. And today I want to talk to you a bit about morale some more. Specifically, we want to talk about the extremes in morale, that is, routing and Berserk, and then how to improve our morale other than rolling a 0 when you hit during firing, because there's really only two ways to improve your morale in this game, and that is either to roll a 0 while you fire on an enemy or an opponent and roll a 0, or you could try to rally. So we're going to begin with the bottom, with routing, fairly common. The way that routing occurs is due to a decrease in morale as a result of opponent fire. So you've taken a hit or a morale check and you have failed either a wound morale check or just a regular morale check. You go down from normal. Let's say we got Woodruff here and Pfeiffer for our examples. Let's say Woodruff here has normal morale and he gets a light wound. There it is, light wound, and he fails his wound morale check with a 9, as is my luck. That causes you to go down 3. You go 1, 2, 3, down to rout. Routing, you lose all leadership ability if you have any, and you lose any ability to shoot at all. Routing and Berserk, the soldiers have basically lost their head on the battlefield. You lose most control over them. And they're going to do their own thing. It's not good. So, routing. This rout soldier here, there's only a couple things you can do with him. If he's got LOS to an enemy soldier, in this case Pfeiffer, and it is time for him to draw a card, he doesn't have any choice. He must move away as fast as he can. With a light wound, he cannot sprint, so he would evade, and the only directions he can go is 5 or 6 by rule, and he can't duck back voluntarily. So in the case of light wound, the fastest he can move is evade. The speed is basically from sprint to run and gun to evade to snake, and you don't get to snake. He can't run and gun because he can't shoot. So evade is what he gets. He would have to get the evade order. And he'd be moving 5, 6. Your choice. But those are the only two directions he can move. He's going to be pulling back. Now, let's say that instead he doesn't have LOS to Pfeiffer. Now he can still move. He can't shoot. He can move. The only directions he can move is 5, 6, and he'd have to move the fastest possible. He'd have to be evade 5, 6, or he can try to rally. We're going to talk about rally next, but leading up to it, to try to rally, the only way he can try to rally, if he's routing, is to be out of LOS to enemy soldiers, which he is. He must be in cover, he's in the trees, which he is, and he must pass an unmodified TQ check. So his TQ is 3. Doesn't matter if he's wounded, the wound doesn't count. He has to roll a 3 or less in order to get a rally attempt. And he rolls a 4, and he does not get to rally, therefore he would be given his evade order. That is it for routing with the friendly units. Now, with the enemy units, the story is similar. I take this rout off. Take that wound off. I'm going to get rid of that wound. We don't really need it. Let's say that Pfeiffer is now routing here. If Pfeiffer is in LOS of a friendly unit, he must withdraw. Alright, just a second here, I gotta blow my nose. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, if Pfeiffer is routing, and he's got LOS to the friendly, once again, he must route. He must move. He must move as fast as possible, and he will use the route line on his order card that he drew. So, let me pull up the display. Here, get over here. And let's say he drew this card. There's a line for route. He must route as fast as possible, and if this is normal conditions and he doesn't have a wound, the fastest he can move is sprint. He would sprint 3-2. And sprint 3-2, and off he goes. So he uses his route line. The American always uses 5-6. They use their route line. Now, if Woodruff was back here, and Pfeiffer is routing, and he's in cover with no LOS, he once again has the opportunity to try to get a rally. The only way he can try to get a rally is if he can pass an unmodified TQ. He's out of LOS, he's in cover, pass an unmodified TQ 4 or less. Through 1, he does. He gets the rally order, which is under other orders. Rally. Alt 5. So with routing, they're mostly pulling back. If this guy had to route, let's say he didn't pass that rally order. One last thing. If there was a soldier over here and he was forced to go back into a hex, he's routing now. And he routes into a hex where he has cover and he's in LOS, he can still try to duck back. That still applies. So if he got into a hex where he now has LOS while he's routing and he was in cover, he could try to pass an unmodified TQ to see if he ducks back. And he could duck back and stop sprinting or evading or whatever he was doing. Okay, how do we improve this? Well, we got to improve this state by rallying. And rallying can be given to friendly soldiers and to enemy soldiers. So let's get Woodruff down here. Let's say that he's not routing. Let's say you can only give a rally to an American soldier who has a morale state of less than normal. So if he's shaken, or if he's cautious, or if he's routing. But routing is a little harder. Like I said, we talked about how to give a rally to a rout. He has to be in cover, out of LOS, and pass an unmodified TQ in order to get that rally command if he's routing. But if he's just shaken, you don't have to do any of that checking stuff. You just give him a rally order. So that was all 5. Rally. That's easy peasy. If he's cautious, you can give him a rally order. The rally order means he doesn't do squat the entire turn, and he's not shooting, he's not moving, he's sitting there. At the end of the turn, he's going to have to pass a rally check. Regardless of how you got your rally order, at the end of the turn, while you're resolving things like grenade checks, you resolve these rally checks. It's also when you resolve your search commands and stuff. So I need Alt F8, make this bigger. There's the rally check. table. So we roll a d10. And with rally checks, they're modified by wounds only, not by their morale state. So it doesn't matter that the TQ on a shaken is -2. If he's going to try to rally, it would only be his wound state, and he's unwounded, so he'd have to roll a 3 or less to pass. If he rolls a natural 0, he goes up 2, but not to Berserk. The highest he can get is aggressive with a rally check. If you pass, you increase 1. If you fail, there's no effect. If you roll a 9, you go down 1 with the rally check. The only way you can get to Berserk is with a morale check, not a rally check. So rally checks, if you go up 2 with a 0, up 1 if you pass, no effect if you fail, and 9s are always bad. You actually go down. Of course, if you're Rout, you can't go down anymore. So he has to roll a 3 or less, and he rolls a 7 and fails, and nothing happens, and you wasted that turn. So rally checks will go up. Morale checks can go up. And rolling a 0 can go up. There are actually 3 ways to go up. If you roll a 0 on a hit, if you roll a 0 on a morale check, and if you rally, those are the 3 ways you can go up. I think I said 2 earlier. I forgot 1. Sorry. All right. Rallies are the same way for the Germans. Once you got your rally, the only way they can get rallies, well, there's 2 ways. One is if you rout and you're in cover out of LOS and pass an unmodified TQ, you can get a rally order. The only other way to get a rally order is to draw a action card, an order card that has rally on a line. Some of these will say rally on them. Yeah, I'm not going to get one, am I? There, rally. You can be given a rally order that way. Once you get a rally, it works exactly the same way. At the end of the turn, they have to pass an unmodified or modified by wounds TQ check, the rally check, and resolve the results the same way. Okay, last of all, Berserk. This is the rarest. Doesn't happen that often for me. Maybe once every few scenarios there'll be a Berserk soldier on the board. So what happens is, let's say that Woodruff here is aggressive, and this guy has got an aim fire, and he shoots at him, and he causes Woodruff to have a morale check, and Woodruff passes his morale check by rolling a natural 0, a 0 on the die. That causes his morale to go up 1, and when it goes up 1, it goes to Berserk. That's the only way you can become Berserk. And in my opinion, Berserk is not a good thing, because once again, the soldier's kind of lost his head, and it's going to go off and do his own thing, and I kind of lose control. I don't like losing control. Once you have a Berserk soldier, there's only a few things they can do. If they're friendly and they have LOS to a soldier, they automatically get rapid fire. Automatically when it comes to order time. If they got LOS, to an enemy soldier, rapid fire, unless they've got a slow weapon. And the only way you're going to get a slow weapon as an American is if he's in with a sniper with a Springfield. So you're going to be stuck with rapid fire. If he's got a Springfield, he'll be doing aim fire. If you don't have LOS, then you're stuck moving. And your only options are either to charge. If you got somebody within 4, you don't have LOS, you can choose to charge, or you have to move quickly as fast as reasonable. So you got sprint, evade, or run and gun that you can do, but the only directions you can go are 2 and 3. So when you're Rout, you're forced to go 5 or 6. When you're Berserk, you're forced to go the opposite, 2 or 3. You must move, evade, sprint, run and gun, whatever. Yeah. And that's pretty much it, unless you want to throw a grenade. You can also throw a grenade. But if you throw a grenade, then during your move phases, you must move 2 or 3. So when you throw a grenade, there are a couple of phases when you can move. You must move 2 or 3 with that Berserk. So they're always trying to close on the enemy. If the enemy is Berserk, yeah, just a minute, I gotta blow my nose again. This stupid cold. Okay, I'm back again. So we were almost to the enemy. I should also mention, if we have a bad wound and we're Berserk somehow, which I've never had that happen. If you're a bad wound, you can't move at a fast speed, you can't sprint, you can't run and gun, you can't even evade. Then if you have Berserk and you don't have LOS, you can sneak. That's the only time you can sneak. If you're Berserk, you can't sneak, basically, because what's the likelihood of being Berserk and having a bad wound? Not very good. I suppose it can happen, because you could be Berserk and get a bad wound, but you pass the wound morale check with a 0, I guess. That could happen. You'd be sneaking then. Okay, if the enemy is Berserk, let's get rid of that. Put that over there. If the enemy is Berserk and they're within 4, they have to charge automatically. 1, 2, 3, 4, they're charging. No choice. If they don't charge, they're always going to move in the direction specified for their order card on their Berserk line. And if they've got an LOS, they're going to use run and gun. So on the order cards, let's get the display up again. On the order cards, there's a Berserk line. He'd be moving 6-5. If he's too far away to charge, can't do that, but he's got LOS, he's going to run and gun. And he's going to go 6-5. If he doesn't have LOS, then he's going to move as fast as possible, which is sprint, run and gun, evade, and sneak. Alright. That's pretty much it. I think I haven't missed anything. So Berserks, you've lost control and they're closing. Rout, you've lost control and they're moving away. Rallying is the only way to, well, one of 3 ways to improve your morale. You can also pass a morale check with 0. That'll increase, and as far as that goes, it can go all the way up to Berserk, which is the only way to get to Berserk. Or you can pass a morale check. Alright. This cold has got my head a little scrambled. I'm hoping that was clear. It's fairly straightforward. The next one will be 2 prisoners and guards, and then we'll move along to vehicles. I'm going to have a much clearer head when I deal with vehicles. I will see you guys soon.